Wait, hi.
Pupunta ba din si content doon na boxing?
Oo, mas kinundi. Uy! Update.
A very good afternoon and welcome to Hyatt here in Los Angeles. As we are very excited for a big night of Showtime Championship Boxing this Saturday night from Dignity House Sports Park in Carson, a venue that is legendary for producing action-packed fights. We go live on Saturday night for Showtime Championship Boxing at 10 Eastern, 10 Pacific time. We have a sensational triple header, but before we get to live action, we have been on a tremendous run when it comes to Premier Boxing Champions on Showtime. We will show you the encore of the tremendous lightweight championship showdown between Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz that happened this past Sunday at nearby Staples Center here in Los Angeles. Premier Boxing Champions on Showtime continues to deliver action-packed fight of the year candidates. We had a tremendous fight between Stephen Fulton and Brendan Figueroa a couple of weeks ago in Las Vegas, followed up with Sunday's lightweight clash with Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz. And now we continue with another week of action as we go ahead and have Nonito Donaire, the WBC bantamweight champion of the world, as he defends his championship against a fellow Filipino, the interim champion, Raymart Gaballo. Saturday night's event is presented by Premier Boxing Champions and promoted by TGP Promotions. Ray Flores, it's a privilege to be with all of you. If you are in the area, you can purchase tickets at AXS.com. Again, that is AXS.com. And for those of you all over the country, 10 Eastern, 10 Pacific time on Showtime Championship Boxing. Let's take a look at our triple header, our live action that comes away this Saturday from what I like to call the War Grounds in Carson. We will start off the evening with the rising sensation. He's a knockout artist. Brandon Lee will put his skills to the test against the very determined Juan Peralta. Then we'll match up with two unbeaten fighters, Kudratilo Abdul as he goes head-to-head against Canadian Cody Crowley. And then, as I mentioned in our main event, it'll be Nonito Donaire putting his WBC bantamweight crown on the line against Raymart Gaballo. What's interesting about this show is that 4 of the 6 fighters are undefeated, so we continue to provide high-risk matchups and exciting ones. Let's go ahead and talk with the fighters as we go ahead. I'm going to ask them questions, and then I will open it up to the medium. I will start off with Juan Peralta, who has a record of 16 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Las Vegas, he holds win over Jose Miguel Borrego and Eddie Ramirez. Now for you, Juan, you are coming off of a loss at the hands of Regis Prograde last Halloween. That was in San Antonio, the undercard of Gervonta Davis, Leo Santa Cruz on Showtime pay-per-view. What did you learn in that fight?
I learned just prepare better, just don't rely on my skills and my talent, just physically prepare myself.
Now you changed trainers from what I gather. You now are led by your amateur trainer, Ivetico Martinez. Why did you decide to make that change?
Because I needed a coach that has a plan, a game plan, and a method to the madness that we have to put ourselves through to train and get the best out of us.
Now, Brandon Lee has been wiping out his opponents. He's a knockout artist. But where do you feel you have the advantages over Lee?
Well, we will find out on Saturday. Honestly, I really haven't watched the video. I know his box record is what his record is what it is, but we'll see Saturday.
All right, that is Juan Peralta, ladies and gentlemen, and now we move on to Brandon Lee, 23-0, 21 knockouts from La Quinta, California, 14 straight wins by either knockout or TKO. Brandon, will it be 15 straight against Juan Heraldez on Saturday night?
I'm going there to win, so no matter how it goes down, I'm going to distance, but then I'm going there to win and do what I do.
Do you feel any additional pressure knowing from the public that they expect you to go out there and wipe out your opponents and win in such impressive fashion?
No, not at all, because like I said, I told everybody out, and I go in there, I do what I do. It doesn't matter if I go for the knockout or for the win. I'm going in there to win, and come Saturday night, 24 0.
When I examine your record, I think it's crazy to me that you haven't been past the 4th round. Do you like the fact that you wipe out your opponents quickly, or are you of the mindset that at some point, maybe even this fight, that you want to go 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, or the distance?
I don't get paid for overtime, so no matter if I go 1 round or 10 rounds.
Juan, you're the underdog coming into this fight against Brandon Lee. Does that motivate you? Does that bother you, or do you pay no attention to it?
I've been underdog before against an undefeated fighter with a winning record or whatever, but there's nothing new. It's whatever, dude. It's just boxing. You gotta box me.
How do you see the fight playing out on Saturday? Juan.
Just showing off where I'm supposed to be going and with my skills and my talent, speed and power, and my jab, everything.
Do you think we're going to go back? Because the fight that stands out to me when it comes to your career is the win over Jose Miguel Borrego. He was a power puncher. He was coming up in the ranks. Do you think that we're going to sort of get that kind of performance against Brandon Lee on Saturday?
I think it's going to be better.
Even better?
Even better.
Why so?
Because I got a good coach and I've got Gil Martinez in my corner and I prepare myself physically, mentally, all around. Yep.
Brandon, when it comes to Juan Heraldez, how would you assess him as a professional? He obviously has a record of 16-1-1. He's been in there against some quality names, but how would you assess Juan Heraldez?
He's a good boxer, good speed, line of speed, and definitely my best opponent today.
And how do you see the fight going down on Saturday?
I can't predict the future, but one thing I can predict, me winning.
All right, Brandon Lee, ladies and gentlemen, Juan Heraldez, that'll begin our live portion on Saturday night from Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. Now we will move on to a matchup between 2 unbeaten welterweights, Cody Crowley out of Canada against Kudratilo Abdukukurov. I will start off with Kudratilo Abdukukurov, we actually have Samson Lukowitz, who I didn't even know this. I know he is one of the best talent scouts for boxing in the business, but he actually speaks 7 languages. So he will be translating for the Uzbekistan fighter. And when it comes to Kudratilo, he's 18-0 with 10 knockouts. You've been the mandatory challenger for the IBF Welterweight Championship of the World, currently held by Errol Spence since March of 2019. Do you think the win over Crowley on Saturday in Showtime Championship Boxing will finally give you enough of a push to finally get that title shot that you so covet?
My Samsung, this my promotion affect me, because there's no good talk English there,
Whether that will help him out in answering this question.
Well, I know for the past... Go ahead, Samson. Do you have anything more to add? Oh, he wants me to repeat the question. You've been the mandatory challenger for the IBF Welterweight Championship for over 2 years, going on 3 years now. Do you think the win over Crowley gets you to that title shot?
I mean this IBF eliminator fight, then I want to fight this Chinese and I got
Definitely, I will win this fight, and then after 3 years, I deserve a shot to be a champion.
Now, I know for the past 5 weeks you've been working with Manny Robles, who used to train the fights of Andy Ruiz, former heavyweight champion of the world, also super welterweight contender Terrell Bichet. Oh, how much have you learned working with Manny and his entire team?
Men rövis Robins bland lukka shladi. Jangimiz gerek davam ko'p nafa sporlar o'tkazib, jangi yaxshi tayyorlandik.
Rory is a great trainer. I learned a lot, and I will show that on Saturday night.
You fought 2 straight southpaws in Javier Flores and Luis Collazo. Crowley will be your 3rd straight southpaw. Do you feel that that benefits you, because it's not often that a fighter goes head-to-head against 3 straight southpaws in their career?
Men shu musulmon jangimni knockout bilan chiroyli g'alabaga erishib, keyin xohlasa shu Errol Spence bilan
Two southpaw is good. The third one, I will knock him out, and then I will go to knock Spencer out.
You're saying you're going to knock out Errol Spence?
Yeah.
I don't need translation on that. My goodness. Okay, Kudratilo Abdulkukarov. Well, let's meet the man that will be standing across the ring from him. 19-0, 9 knockouts from Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. Cody, when you hear Kudratilo say he's going to knock you out, and then he's going to go on and knock out Errol Spence, do you think that he's overlooking you?
First thing I want to say is, Mom, look who's on TV now. Shout out to my family back home in Canada. Getting back to your question, I got offered this fight back in April. I was on vacation. I was in the mountains. I was just chilling. I accepted this fight 5 weeks notice. Signed a contract that even questioning it. Next thing you know, this guy backs out. A couple months later, same thing. Now we're finally here. I have a feeling that they're just looking over me. They don't really know what I'm capable of doing. There's a reason why I've been in the ring with 20 plus world champions. People outside the boxing ring, they don't know who I am, but everybody inside the boxing scene knows who I am and what I'm capable of. And he's 100% overlooking me mentioning Errol Spence's name. Come Saturday night, this guy's gonna find himself in waters that he can't quite swim in. I survive in environments where most people get destroyed. So Saturday night, someone better throw this man some water wings.
Oh, Samson, what is his response to, sort of summarizing that he feels you guys are overlooking him, and he's going to take you and drown you in those deep waters? What's his response?
He said that he has no sympathy for them. Don't put any excuse. I will knock you out anyway.
No, he says to knock you out anyway. What do you want to do to him on Saturday night on Showtime Championship Boxing?
All you gotta do is see who's standing in the center of the ring from the time the bell rings and who's running around till the bell stops.
Now you're coming off of, you're supposed to fight Gabriel Maestre back in August, but you came down with COVID. The one thing, we see different fighters and athletes respond in different ways to responding and returning action from dealing with that deadly disease. But how are you feeling physically heading into this fight on Saturday?
I'm feeling fantastic, healthy. I'm a world-class athlete. This is the level I'm supposed to be on. There's a reason why people can't keep up with me in the ring. There's a reason why they can't keep up with my punch count, is because I am just a machine. And I have a feeling that this Kudratelo on Saturday night is going to find out that maybe it's not a human in front of him, it's a machine, because this dude's just not stopping.
Do you think that he is ranked #1 right now in the IBF rankings? He's the contender, the #1 contender. He's been that way for over 2 years to Errol Spence's IBF welterweight crown. Do you think a win for you puts you in that conversation into that top 5 ranking where you can clamor for a world title shot?
100%. I've been waiting for this opportunity. This is where I belong. This is where I live. This is where I thrive. I feel at home right now. So a win over Kudratello puts me exactly where I already know I am. I already am a world champion in my head. The world just doesn't know it yet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Cody Crowley, Kudratillo Abdul-Kukurov, both men saying they are going to make a statement against one another on Saturday night. That is our co-main event on Showtime Championship Boxing. Now we will move on to our main event of the evening for the WBC Bantamweight Championship of the World from Dignity House Sports Park in nearby Carson. I will start off with the interim WBC Bantamweight champion from General Santos City, Philippines. His record 24 wins, no losses, 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Raymart, the Assassin Gaballo. Raymart, you grew up watching Nonito Donaire. What does it mean for you to be fighting the Filipino Clash for the Bantamweight Championship of the World on Saturday night?
It's an honor to fight with my idols, I'm so excited.
In your last fight, you were victorious over former world champion Emmanuel Rodriguez by split decision. What did you learn in that fight that you feel will benefit you against Donaire on Saturday?
Like, when I look at my last fight, I need to improve my head movement and I need to throw some more punches.
All right, Raymart Gaballo, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get back to him, but now I want to bring up a man who's been there, done that many times over again. A 4th Division World Champion. He was the 2012 Fighter of the Year, involved in the 2019 Fight of the Year against Naoya Inoue. Coming up, we're back on May 29th, knocked out Nordine Obali to become the oldest bantamweight champion in history. Ladies and gentlemen, from Boha, Philippines, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, it gives me great honor and pleasure to welcome the WBC Bantamweight Champion of the World, the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire. Nonito, with everything that you've accomplished in your career, why do you decide to continue to fight at this high level? What motivates the Filipino Flash at 39 years of age?
I think for me, after the Inoue fight, I was brought about a purpose, after becoming Fighter of the Year, I was going up and down, kind of floating in fights. But after that fight, I felt that I can do this. And I think the purpose in me, and this is why I came in really strong with Ubali and very confident today, is because I have a purpose. And that purpose is becoming undisputed champion of the world.
So with that being said, you are taking on a fellow Filipino in Raymart Gaballo. You haven't fought a fellow Filipino since we have to go back November 2nd, 2002. Nearly 20 years, he fought Mark Sales. What does it mean for you to be stepping inside the ring against somebody who's 14 years younger than you, but he's 24-0, 20 knockouts, he's very hungry, he's got a big power shot, and he's looking to go ahead and sort of dethrone his idol?
Well, for me, I'm actually, first and foremost, I'm proud that there's another Filipino, like the Mexicans have done throughout the years, where they're fighting in this level. And for me, I'm actually proud that there is another Filipino at this type of level, in this type of stage, to be sharing this ring with me, and I'm proud of that. I know that Raymart is very hungry. He has a big dream. Like everybody coming from the Philippines, we have a dream. He has a dream, and I know that he will be at his best, and this is why I'm prepared at my best as well.
Raymart, in a recent interview, you said in preparation for Nonito Donaire that you have to look out for that vicious left hook. We've seen him put away many fighters with that left hook. In training camp, how have you been preparing to deal with that vaunted left hook that Nonito Donaire uses?
Every time we train in the gym, we always they always throwing me like same punches with my hook Nonito. But I thought that that's not the only one need to be like
Watch.
because
He's saying that there is not just He's saying that it's not just the left hook that he needs to look out for. I also have other arsenals that are that to look out for.
Unbelievable. He's trash talking himself. Nonetheless, my final few questions for Raymart. You're 14 years younger than Nonito Donaire. Is it advantageous for you to push the pace knowing that he is 39 years of age? Does a faster pace, more high action, high value favor you?
No, I think I know even though the age is not it's just like a number, but I know that his movement is still there, same as before.
Now, Nonito, you've been in there with every style under the sun, but he does have 20 knockouts of his 24 victories. Do you think that your experience is going to play a factor in the fight, and how do you plan on combating the power that he has?
Well, I faced a lot of guys like Inoue, Darchinyan, and even Walters, all these powerful guys, and the thing about being experienced is we have no fear of it. And so therefore we're mainly focused on our strategy and the variety of style that comes forward in my head that I can take advantage of his style. Ultimately, just 100% ready. We build on mental fortitude so that whatever the case happens, we're always going to push through adversity and be ready, because I believe that we are only as strong as our mind can be. And so I know that I'm 100% because my mind is to the roof, or to the moon.
I love it. Raymart, my final question to you. What would a win over Nonito Donaire, when Jimmy Lennon Jr. were to say, and the new WBC Bantamweight Champion of the world, mean to you on Saturday night? What would that moment mean to you to become the new world champion if you were to defeat Nonito Donaire?
I'm so very happy because of my
He's saying that it gives him great pleasure and happiness because it's what he's been looking for all his life, to be announced as a world champion.
Nonito, you've been very vocal about the respect between the two. How much does it mean for you to sort of be sharing the ring with the guy who looked up to you, and the fact that you don't have to trash talk, you translate for him, for crying out loud? So he's given his predictions, but what does this mean for you as you sort of are on the latter stages of your career?
I'm just here and enjoying that moment of whatever I have in this career. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I'm excited. Every day I'm excited. I'm in the gym. I feel like I'm 21 and I feel like I can do this for another 10 years.
Another 10 years later, you're going to fight till you're 50?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Where's Rachel at? Is Rachel okay with that?
Well, it depends on the queen, right? It depends on the queen where my life stands. I'm just each day I take it, each fight I take it, and I'm just grateful for every moment of it. And I love the fact that, and I want to bring it all out there, that this is a gentleman's sport. I believe that it gives a lot of credibility of a fighter when he can speak to somebody with respect, with sportsmanship. And that's what I bring out there is to inspire people that it's not about being on top and talking crap about other people. Yes, there's things like that, and that's okay. It's part of the game. But I believe that a greater man is when he can look into his opponent's eyes and shake hands with them and go for the kill when they're in the ring. At the end of it all, it's a sport, it's a game, it's a career. And again, everybody's different, they have their own perspective. For me, my perspective is I love the sport of boxing. It's what given me everything that I have, and I'm going to represent it to the best of my ability with respect, with honor, and integrity.
Talking about Championship Boxing at Dignity
And
Health
you
Sports
say
Park.
and still, you said you for him, so you gotta say.
Okay, so
still.
assuming that Jimmy Lennon says, and still, the WBC Bantamweight Champion of the world, as you look at unification, when it comes to Naoya Inoue, I was in Japan, that was an amazing fight. Or also, a man who talked about respect, there's been some trash talk with, on the side of John Riel Casimero, he holds the WBO Bantamweight Championship. Where do you lean towards? Is that next for you, assuming that all goes according to plan and Jimmy Lennon says, and still WBC Bantamweight Champion of the world?
The very key, and I will always say this, the guy that I truly trust in this game is Richard Schaefer, and I'm always gonna leave it up to him.
So it's up to Richard Schaefer and your promotional team to go ahead and dictate as to what's next for Nonito Donaire.
But I'm gonna go after all of them.
Okay, so in order, Donaire, or not Donaire, but Inoue or, Casimero, who would you want?
Well, they both have the belt that I'm looking for, but again, whatever's easier, and I'm gonna leave it up to Richard, because Richard knows how to make fights.
All right, now we're going to open it up to questions from the media. If you have questions for the fighters up here, by all means, raise your hand and ask your questions.
Hi, this question is for Nonito. Vidal Maravilla from Fight News. Nonito, you fought numerous times at Carson, Sunbelt Center, Home Depot Center, now it's the Dignity Health Sports Park. There's been lots of memorable fights. Now you're fighting a fellow Filipino. Why is this fight going to be memorable in the same way as sort of memorable fights?
I think that for me, it just shows where my experience and the level of my performance is going to be on this fight. But mainly, I am really proud that there are two Filipinos fighting, in this stage. So yeah, ultimately, that's my case. Why it's memorable for me. But the performance that I intend to showcase on Saturday is also going to be noteworthy.
More questions from the media?
This question is for Brandon. I know we're looking one, but say you come out victorious, is 2022 going to be a campaign there for one of the title shots?
I'm 23 years old, and by the end of 2022, my team and I, Cameron Duncan, and my team will get together and we'll discuss that.
This is Frank from FightFight.com. Questions for Raymart Gaballo. How do you approach this fight knowing that Nonito is an attitude at the same time? He's an older fighter. You obviously have respect for him, but how are you approaching this fight mentally?
Gaballo. Philippine. Mark. Goal. Coach Ting.
Again, too much said, but I will do my best to ring. Buat na rin ako na akong ginabuhat sa training para mag-overcome sa dulo.
He said that he will do everything that they have done during training in preparation for this fight so that he will fight very well and go for the win.
Mohammed Mubarak with the Electronic Urban Report. My question is for Cody Crowley. You have a very impressive ring work, and could you tell us what did it take you to go on this journey to get to this point in your life, and what does it mean to have a win Saturday night?
It took a lot of sacrifice. I'm from a super small town in Canada where boxing doesn't really exist. And from a small age, I had this burning desire inside of me to become something great. And all I really had was two fists and a beating heart. And I put all of that, everything I had to the test, made the sacrifices I need to make, moved to Las Vegas, put myself in the best possible environment to be successful, got the best trainer in the game, surrounded myself with the right people, the right world champions to guide me in this sport, and as you can see, my record stands for it. 19-0. If you want to go to the scorecards, you can see that in 150 something rounds I boxed, I don't think I even lost one round. All that comes from this crazy work ethic that I put in the gym every single day. Because when I wake up, ever since I was a young kid, I said that I'll become a world champion. And I go to sleep knowing that I'll become a world champion. So really, at the end of the day, this comes down to sacrifice. And look, now I'm on Showtime. You know, I put in the work, I sacrificed what I need to. Now I'm on live TV. A small kid from a small town doing big city things. So, message out there to anybody in the world, you can do whatever you put your mind to. It doesn't matter how big the competition is. It doesn't matter if they say they're gonna knock you out. You know, I go against, and I stand in front of any wall that stand in front of me. And I plan on breaking through it. That's what I've done my whole life. Keep climbing over walls, keep climbing over obstacles.
And Cody, to my knowledge, you haven't lost a round since, what, April of 2016, am I correct on that?
Possibly, I don't think I've ever lost a round. Okay. That's probably one of the judges giving it to another guy, you know, maybe feeling sorry for him. But I personally believe that I outwork my opponent every single round. I'm throwing 100+ punches around for 12 rounds straight. So when you see Cody Crowley in the ring, you're going to see an action-packed fight. A lot of this game that I've been seeing lately is people are so scared to lose. People are so scared to risk things that a lot of these fights get boring. And when I'm in that ring, I put all on the line. I'm not scared to lose. I'm not scared to get knocked out. I'm here to fight. I'm here to entertain. This is what the people who have went and saved up their hard-earned money are expecting. They're expecting you to go out there and lay your life on the line. And that's what I do every time I step in the ring, and I do it for all the people that support us. Without them, we wouldn't be here.
All right, quickly, I want to go around before we let these guys go. Prediction time, we'll start off with Juan Peralta. Juan, Saturday night, the prediction, sir.
I predict a win, just a nice win. Everybody, I guess, gonna be surprised, but we won't be.
Brandon Lee, your prediction on Showtime Championship Boxing as you take on Juan Peralta.
24-0, sorry.
All right, co-main event, Cody Crowley, Kukurov. Cody, your prediction?
I'm predicting an action-packed fight with my hand being raised at the end. I really don't see it going to the scorecards.
You're saying you're going to knock him out?
I don't see it going to the scorecards.
Okay. All right, Kudratilo Abdulkukurov, undefeated, ranked number 1 by the IBF at 147. Your prediction against Cody Crowley?
Bu bokschi shunaqa jang qilib, shunaqa jang ko'rsataman debdi. Xohlasa uni chiroyli jang ko'rsatib, inshaalloh kutaman.
He said that he will win, he will knock him out. He never lost a round because the competition that he had. It's no competition compared to him.
So the key word in that fight, 10 rounds or less. Key emphasis on less. Someone is likely being put to sleep in our co-main event. Now our main event, the WBC Bantamweight Championship of the World. 2 Filipino fighters going at it first. The interim WBC Bantamweight Champion, Raymart Gaballo. Your prediction against Nonito Donaire? Prediction.
Indot madula, indot niya yung madula among mapakita sa tanan din. Ikaw mo makapagdaw ko madula.
He is predicting that it will be a very good fight, and he will do the best he can to win this fight.
Well, love and respect being shown by Raymart Gaballo. Nonito Donaire, the oldest bantamweight champion in history, the reigning WBC bantamweight champion of the world. How do you see your fight playing out against Raymart Gaballo?
Raymart is a really good fighter, but you know we're very, very confident. And the only thing that I have in my head, because I got bigger fish to fry, bigger fish to fish, to go after, you know. And I'm, like he said, he'll do his best. I'll do my best. But in my confidence, victory is is the only thing. I'm burning all the ships. There's no going back without victory.
Nonito Donaire, ladies and gentlemen, all 6 fighters are part of our Showtime triple header. This upcoming Saturday night, give them a round of applause as we celebrate the held for Washington Carson. Before we go live, we'll have replay of Devontae Davis and East Apples. Thank you so much for joining us, and now we will have the ceremonial stare downs between each fight.
Raymart Gaballo.
Kaya hindi yun. No?
Tuna, Raymart. A big fish.